What's going on, y'all? What's going on? This is Greg. Greg said it. It's nice little dreary out there. The sun is not as bright and all that good stuff. I said, let me come on here. Come on in the room. Get with you all really quick here. Make sure my volume is up. Let me know if you hear me. Whew. It's off season. It's slow mo, y'all. For I guess the slowest part of the year. You're talking about the college football is over. You're talking about the fact that what's going on PC 40. Um, this is that gap. The winter workouts everybody's doing, particularly Colorado's doing the winter workouts, and you got the whole spring coming up, spring ball. I don't know what's going to be shown, how much, all that. I don't know if I expect or should want much to be shown, but at the end of the day, there's some things we need to talk about. I don't plan on being on here long. This is what Coach Prime's fourth season, and a lot of people are starting to get antsy. For one, it's like, last year, the year before, people hopes have got up. And some people more and more people like, I need to wait and see what's gonna happen. I need to wait and see what they're gonna do. I'm not gonna be hype on them this year. I'm gonna, whatever, right? So I get that. But then there's also this tone, which I get, because I kind of felt it. Like before Coach Marion came and all that, it was looking bad. And this before all the guys left, you felt it, the possibility of the guys leaving. And everybody was leaving, right? So now you're talking about, okay, they got a little hope. Coach Marion's here, a little more excitement, a little energy back up on everybody. And then it's like, is this it for Coach Prime? Like, without looking at the negative side of it, because everybody got to win. But he just got the big payday after this was the second year, was his better year, and then it went back down. And people throwing it against him, rightfully so. But the tone, the energy is just different for some. And you look at the fact that first year, what was that? 4-8. Then you went 9-3, technically 9-4. Then you went what, 3-9? Then you only won 3. I want to say 4, but they didn't get to that, I don't think. Kind of in denial. So you don't have one successful season out of 3. You go into this year, you lost some big time players, and we can get into that if you want or not. You lost some big time players in the portal that has been there more than 1 year, most of them. And these are guys who you say you want to have them come in young, especially with the freshmen. It's like you had the Draylon Miller who came in as a freshman. You had the Amari Miller who came as a freshman. You had the Jordan Seaton that came in as a freshman. So these are guys that you say you want to maintain a certain level of guys as you continue to run the portal, you build, bring in people, you build. The high school people you want, that's the point. Again, high school kids, when Coach Prime said, I don't believe in getting these high school kids because they just gonna come and leave. You kind of put that out there and it kind of happened, right? So now you're looking at, okay, you're not keeping the portal guys, you're not keeping the freshmen. Like, what is the strategy? What is the hope going forward? Do you do this every year? And on top of that, when you don't win, what does that look like? Where's the line drawn? Okay, you got a new AD, so it's like, where are you going with this thing? Listen, Coach Prime needs to win this year around. Stop promoting the stuff, and Coach already let 12 be. Oh man, don't let his girlfriend be a distraction. I don't know how we would measure that, because Coach Prime is Coach Prime. I don't know. He always had a girlfriend. So I don't know how we measure if the girlfriend is a distraction or not. I don't know how we could ever. I mean, he's gonna be with his kids. So I don't know, how do you draw that line and say what's going on with our Jizzle? How do you decide that? That's kind of personal. Like when you get into the whole what's going on, is it common sense? But it's a thin line between deciding what he do personally and how it affect. Like you tell him to stop marketing, he's gonna do that. He's not gonna stop being Coach Prime and doing the gigs and the commercials because he was doing that before, and he's gonna do that after. Really, he's gonna do as long as he can. I'm not gonna tell the man to stop doing that. That's what makes him who he is. That's what got him there. That's what some of the players are attracted to, the branding capabilities and this and that. But we need to, at some point, what's going on, Alan? At some point, start to look at, okay, what do he need to do? We can look at what he don't need to do. We can start with that, but also think about what he need to do. I know y'all have thoughts, and a lot of people is talking about it, but I think it's becoming a real thing. I don't know the big pay increase to be a top coach and have Laura. Is that going to be a factor? But if we look at it, all the changes that he made so far enough. I put it like this: what are the real issues? Is it the personnel, the player quality that he got? That's the issue. Is it the coaching that was the issue? Or we can say a combination. Like, what is it really? What was the real cause of the the drop off in production? Like, where's the line drawn? Because we gotta have it's. I guess now that was it 24 season is a confounding variable, right? Like, it's an outlier compared to the other 2 years. What was the difference between what was done that year compared to the other two failing years? Because the first year, Shador and those guys were there. DeJounte wasn't there. But a lot of those guys was there. Now we do know it was a lot of overhaul every year. If we isolate that 9-3 season, what was done differently from that than the other seasons that they went 3-9, 8-4? Because the issue is, if it is the coach, it should be a consistency. The culture, it should be a consistency. Like, if it is the culture, what flipped it? What went from 4-8, 9-3? What flipped it? Was it the talent alone? Like, what is really causing it? I think that's what people need to really do a deep dive and say what's really the issue. I think his health had a lot to do with last year. Yeah, I mean they covered up a lot of that, so we probably won't know. Bad quarterback play from Salter. You definitely was spoiled. As much as people dog out Shador, you definitely was spoiled with that. Shador wasn't perfect, but everybody know Shador will carve you behind up. Everybody know they better put everybody in the box on a weak line to get him, because you give him a chance to throw the ball. He wasn't throwing all them interceptions in college. He did throw some silly ones, like he just getting nonchalant, but he gonna carve you up more than throw interceptions. That's just never been a thing. I don't know what happened in the NFL. It is different, and a lot of the top guys have had that issue in their rookie year. But he's never been a big time interception guy. He's always been a high touchdown, high yardage guy. Period. Cut how you want. A lot of people that was in the program last year took advantage of his health issues, really not being there, being hands on. All right, it definitely the player coaches definitely wasn't in the want to work out. They wasn't as it was like Swayze was by itself last year to me. The ladies and stuff, I think they came on the board, but it's like you didn't see the coaches there as much. And I think I've seen it before in the past, like I said before, but Coach Prime tried to turn CU to HBCU West, not recruiting in Colorado is a problem. I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak on it. Block bully. Yeah, I can take that. I think I feel like people undervalue what block bully did. I think NFL undervalue. I know that was a big complaint the year before, and it was a big complaint the year after of somebody holding that middle down. And we know Block Bully did that really well. We know he did that really well. You can't question that. It was no gushing up the middle with him in there. And there's a lot of enders out there. It's weird to me. It's a lot of negativity surrounding Coach Prime. It's a lot of like accusations thrown at him. And you could be right, but the tone and energy behind it is just the spirit of it is just questionable. Like, why go so hard on Coach Prime? Why go so hard? Like, what is the point? That's how I look at it. Like, You can accuse, you can criticize somebody, but when you criticize it with a certain tone, it's almost personal. And then the question would be, why is it personal? Why do you have a personal vendetta against somebody who, I mean, what is it really about? Whether you met him before or not, what is it really about? Did he slap your mama? What did he say? Pee in your cornflakes? Like, what requires that level of intensity and consistency and vigor of going at somebody? And that's, a lot of people will say, or some people will say, Coach Prime is this, that, and that, and that. Okay, he made some mistakes, but okay. I'm trying to see where you're coming from. Shador is this, that, and that, and that. And it's like, I don't try to be no brainwashed person. I try to understand, but just the heart of it all, it's really, really rough on these guys. They really, really rough on, like, they don't have a lot of margin for error because people like celebrate it. And I watch some of these same people go hard on some people and then they soft on other people. It's not like you just hard. You real soft on some people. They get all kinds of grace. And then some people it's just venom, just and that's what gets me. That's when you get into almost a hypocrisy. You get into a place where you see people go hard on some people, and then some people they're not hard on them. That's what gets me. Like if you hard, like what they say, Coach Boone on Rim Titans. I may be a one hard cuss, but I'm one hard cuss. I'm hard on everybody. But when you got that person who hard on this person or these particular people, and over here, everybody can clearly see, boy, you get them all kinds of excuses. You get you like they can do the worst thing in the world, and you dress that thing up. And then those same people say Coach Prime do it, and maybe he do, but that ain't that what you doing. Some people get really, really tough on people who they don't like, and people they like, boy, they can't do no wrong. They just, oh no, it's just not that, oh, it's just not. And it's like, ain't you the tough guy? Ain't you the one who's super critical? Ain't you the one who see every detail? But with that person, you, oh yeah, they this and they that. And I'm like, I'm not saying that. I ain't even super critical. I ain't even saying that. A lot of CU players don't support the program. They crying about the fight song. None of these players want to be a program on, not to learn the fight song. I mean, they can learn the fight song if they want to. The fight song is a mechanism of unity. It's a mechanism of respect and history, which is supposed to bring unity. It's like military. It's like to go and do stuff, to go play a game like football, y'all. It requires a certain level of psyching out. It's a certain level of buy-in you got to have to go and put your body and life on the line like that. Like after you stop playing, you realize a lot of stuff. You're like, boy, I did that, boy, that was crazy, boy. I can't believe I did that. But you're psyched out. And to play football and everybody be at the same level of psych out, it takes a certain level of programming. It takes a certain level of training, not just physical but mental. Fight song is part of that. Uh, you know, these different cultural things that bonds the team. That it's that's one of those things that it's there for a reason. It's not like somebody's made that up. It's not like why all these programs got it. Everybody got a portal. Everybody got transfers. That's a non-negotiable. It's they just come with it. Don't get too smart about it now and say, oh, it ain't this, that. Don't get too smart. Just pay attention to the fact that Cincinnati, they were doing it, and they coach only been there 2 years, and they players, a lot of them came with them, and then they got some transfers, and they chop, chop, chop. So you think they've been there 4 or 5 years, and some of them have. But that's gonna be the thing. Why fight it? That's what you get. That's when a coach comes into a culture, you adopting that culture because that culture was there before you. It's gonna be there after you. That ain't something that you want to fight, especially something that it's the only common factor you got. You come from this school, you come from that school, you come from that, you come there, I come from here. The only thing we got in common is this new place and this new culture and everything surrounding this new culture. We can't bring our old culture because that's not a unified team. And you still stuck on like, we don't want to talk about where we come from. So that's where things like the fight song come in. That's where the things like the old players and stuff and all that matter because they're introducing you to this current culture you're in. And you have to get on the same page with that. Or else you got to divide a team. And so that's when we get the issues that we have now, when we talk about, well, Dawn, what's causing it? You confused because it's a lot of division. Like, you got players leaving saying, "Oh, we ain't watching no film." You got players leaving saying, "But the environment is toxic." You got players leaving and hearing other players treated differently than others, and that's not supposed to be the case. You know, it's a lot of different things that is going on, and I think it all comes to people not on the same page. They're not on the same page, and if they're not on the same page, I mean, it's going to be exposed. I think that's what happened that 2024 year. Like, things were going good, but the lack of unity was exposed. It just kind of fell apart at the end. But I think it just had so much talent and buy-in amongst the main players that it was all right. But I think that, when you see coaches leaving and you see stuff like that, you see the divisions. Now, the problem is, how do some coaches, everybody from the top down is on the same level? And then in other situations, everybody from, is scattered. It's isms between the coaches and certain coaches and the players and the vision in the locker room. How do you get there? How do you get to that point? And what mechanisms do you need to put in place to make sure that don't happen, like the fight song? At some point, we got to be so unified that we're not divided. At some point, we got to be so on the same page that we are not against each other. We're totally for each other. You know, it got to be a point where we're so against everything outside of us that we don't even have room to entertain what problems we got on the inside. That's that war mentality. People who go to war, they ain't necessarily gonna be best friends, but they know they more together than them people on the other side who gonna be shooting at them. You may not like the guy, but you better like him enough to know you can protect him, and you better know he can protect you. In sports, it's like a simulated war because it's the same mechanism. You, a group of guys you've been with for months, gonna go and face another group of guys who've been together for months, if not years, and y'all are winning together and y'all are losing together. Y'all are fighting together and y'all getting whooped together. That's the difference. So I can't say what's going on, what made certain players leave and all that. I think it's some truth in everything. I think it's like, I don't think these players are totally lying. And I heard some crazy stuff. I'm like, maybe somebody misconstrued it or maybe somebody lied. But I think where there's smoke, there's fire. I think that in some cases, these guys are having a bad experience at something like that. These guys been there 2-3 years and they ain't coming out saying it, but they telling people stuff. And what happens is it leaks out. It leaks out through conversations. It leaks out on other platforms. It leaks out just, what's been said from people who they trust. I don't. It got messy. Yeah, it got messy. It got messy. I mean, you say they was talking about players leaving. It clearly some personal stuff got going on. Because usually they cover that stuff up. Usually they keep that stuff on the low. So the fact that they start pointing fingers and elbows at each other, it shows you it got a little messy. It got a little personal. I mean, it's no doubt about it. The question is, whatever's being hidden, it coming to light. And excuse me. At some point, it's like a drip, and then that drip get bigger to that doggone thing is burst open. Either you're gonna deal with what it is, or it's eventually gonna bust open. Eventually, this thing's gonna bust wide open. It's about the money. Is it about the money? I hear it's about money, and then I also hear other stuff about why you say it's about money purely. You hear people have some other situations going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And then when you see people making certain comments about people, I ain't talking about him, I'm talking about him. It's like, is that money? Is that money? Is people transfer out of your program and make certain comments? Is it because they just angry because you let them go and they want to get back at you? Or are they telling the truth? I'm gonna tell you right now, it's only so long people can say certain stuff about you before you have to start to say, okay, something going on. It's only so long where people can I'm gonna say it like this. Y'all say certain people was told to leave. Probably so. I mean, when you lose the way you lose, you probably want to get rid of certain people, especially as you see the season go on and you see how people handle it. You watching that stuff while you're losing. You watch how people respond, what they do, and you probably heard and seen some stuff. And you probably say, you know what, you got to go. I don't need you around. I don't need you contaminating the new people coming in. Your attitude, your I don't need to miss that. So it's very possible and likely and probably justified that certain people has to go. But I don't think all of them was asked to go, especially some of the key ones. We talk about those. What made them leave? Could have been the same thing. They just not a good fit for the culture going forward. Or just need a fresh start. I don't need any of these negative thoughts and attitudes to remain. Let's go ahead and go on somewhere else. I kind of can see it that way. No matter who they are. I don't care if it's Jordan Seaton. If Jordan Seaton had attitude, I watched his attitude change. Maybe he felt like he had to do too much or he had to be the guy. I saw him going off at practice and just being disruptive. I heard he went off in some meetings and stuff like that. Just talk, right? But I seen him do it. So it's like, what's going on with that? Somebody like that need to go. If they feeling like that, you need to just go ahead and go, man. Go ahead and go, have a good time, go somewhere else. You're not happy here. We don't need that energy. We don't need because other people say you the leader, they might duplicate that. I'd rather you lead and be duplicated on your work ethic, on your discipline, on your positive attitude. I don't want you to lead like that, where you frustrated and when you go off like that, it's like you almost set a standard like this the way things are done around here. You want people to lead the right way, or else you better off with a whole bunch of new folks. You better off with a bunch of new folks who gonna do stuff differently. Come in with they happy to be that attitude. If you no longer happy to be there, then you need to go head on. They say he might get exposed at LSU. I mean, very easily. I mean, because he really never showed dominance. I mean, he got all these grades and stuff like that, but especially in the run blocking, he got to show he can do some of that. He's been pretty decent in the pass block, not perfect, but on a run, we could say that he had an opportunity. We could say Colorado didn't do enough run. We can say that all day, but from what we've seen, he just ain't been just moving folks in the run block. Like some of those top left tackles, like what's that? Orlando Page? Those guys who been just great left tackles. They manhandle people, man, especially NFL level when it comes to the run. Now they're a big wall in front of somebody in the pass block, but man, they move people on the run. He kind of high. He's don't have a lot of leverage. He kind of high. So yeah, when you get in the SEC and you're going against that quality of talent and the size, you ain't just way bigger than everybody. You might. He might. Because I ain't necessarily seen him like just really just bulldoze people. Maybe he did in high school, but he ain't just bulldozing people. And even in what they call the lower level of quality of play at the Big 12. It's no different than happened Kamani McClain when he went to Florida. Well, I mean, Kamani had a little rough time transition. I think it took him a couple years, and he did all right. He did all right, but he has not been that 5-star that he's supposed to be. He went from 5-star to Dawn. Is he a bust to okay? He all right to maybe play like a 3-star. Usually we think 5-star. That's considered a person who's a future first rounder. Is he looking like a future first rounder? Kamani McClain. Jordan Cedar yet to be. Depending on what he do at LSU, is he looking like a first rounder? First rounders dominate. He said super regular. Yeah, I mean he may be super regular. He may be super regular. Because he was just good enough to get on the field. At one point he wasn't even on the field. He'd walk on and all that. So now I just got to do enough to be on the field. Nevertheless, be dominant, lockdown, shutdown corner. Does he have that potential? I don't know. He ain't showed that. He showed he can make a play. He showed he can be on the field, but he ain't showed that I'm gonna be a doggone top 10 pick. When you think about a 5-star, you're talking about first round talent. You're talking about first round talent. Is he showing first round? No. Is he showing 4th or 5th round? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I don't see it, but we'll see. So I guess my question is this. Is this the do or die for Coach Prime? I think it is. I think it was. What does he have to do to make people satisfied? I know people not gonna be satisfied. They never gonna be satisfied with what he do, especially a hater. In the chat, what do y'all think he got to do? What does he have to do to continue? We know the portal gonna happen. We know players gonna come and go. He gonna do this crap all again. I don't know if it's gonna be as many. We're gonna do it all again. You're gonna have some seniors that lead, and you have some players who sit on the bench that's gonna lead. And maybe his style of dealing with it, it's all kinds of stuff leaking out, man. I mean, I know I don't know it all, but I don't heard some weird stuff about culturally some stuff that's done that maybe shouldn't be done, but I don't know everybody at school. And I know Coach Prime handles stuff differently. Like just real anal on meetings and being on time. And we've seen at Jackson State. So is it some things that he's doing that he's gonna switch up on? That's off the field stuff, or creating a culture of discontentment as far as how you deal with the players and some other stuff. Because to me, I'm gonna be real with you. They put a lot of emphasis on the negative. Like, I know certain stuff gotta be said, but it's almost like setting a pretense of I expect you to do what these other people did. From how you wear your uniform, coming on time, and you gotta tell the rules, but like how do you do it? From okay, eating. Like, I don't know why you gotta tell people to eat and weigh in. Like that should be standard. But common practice that should be standard. But to the point you gotta put fines up and all of that. It's a present, it's a tension there. It's almost like it's a job now for real because you ain't gonna treat the job and hobby the same. But your character should be the same. It should. I shouldn't just only work hard if I get paid. If I got a scholarship, that's one thing. I want to play, that should be enough motivation. But how do you sit up there and perform? You gonna be tight. That's one of the guys that said we was tight at practice. I can see that making you tight. When it's like, why I'm ready to slap you over the head with these fines or this and that. And then you don't let you get a couple fines. Now you really watching for it. Yeah, hit them, get them lights up. My boy, what is it? Blue Protege, what is it? Protege? Prodigy? They ain't no prodigy. And just without the look. Some people say 8, 9 wins. I can see that. I can say at least 8. But what does that do? Is that really enough? Because his best season was 9. in his second year. This is his fourth year. How does 8 wins really clean up the mess? Because now you still haven't topped your best year. Now, the way I see it, if he did 9, he don't set a bar high where he got to at least do 9, really 10, for you to be like, oh, okay. And they still ain't finna give him no grace. Like they gonna blame the oh well you got Marion, you got it. We need to rebuild. Yeah, new players will come in ready to make a name for him. I seen Ryan start coming to mean late. I don't know what sometimes people have be late. Maybe they communicated it. Maybe it's already known. Maybe the meeting started at a certain time, and I had class at this morning, so I'm gonna be 15 minutes late. It's other stuff out there, but it may be some communication things, and that's fine. But you just pop up, he's anal on the meetings, and that can get you in the doghouse fast. Nobody's going to be satisfied when the season. Yeah, I think that's the sad truth. It's like the only thing that would neutralize the disrespect and the hate. It ain't the this is common knowledge. Everybody's shooting for this. I think the only thing that can neutralize the failure of last year, on top of the other failures, is you making it to that championship. Making it to the championship, the conference championship, and winning it will really, really get you some respect. But making it there, it's like because of the level of expectation and the heat and the eyeballs on him, they only would throw, oh, he just made another bowl game. Oh, he just had a win season. He's done that before. And he reached his peak. That's the most he can do. He can just have a winning season. Everybody can do that. We ain't got to pay you $10 million, $11 million just to have a winning season. Whoop de do. Anybody can get a winning season. They're gonna throw that at you for somebody who he's boisterous, he's known, he talked that talk, and then he turned around and he got paid for it. Now, this is the thing I get. A lot of people saying, I see 3-9 season. I've heard other people say that. I see people. Where do you get that from? Because what that will say to me, if you saying that, you're basically saying because Coach Prime is the coach, I expect it. Because you can't be all the changes they made in the players, you basically saying that was nothing. Even bringing in Marion, that's nothing. Marion ain't had no 3-win season. Even when he was at Sacramento State, he won more than that. It won't be long before he hangs it up, R. Jizzle. I mean, I said that from the beginning. I said 5 years tops. I mean, at some point, he got some really significant health stuff, and that's before the bladder. He got some significant stuff, man, and that schedule and that intensity on you only being positive. I mean, he ain't even had a chance to recover because as soon as he had all that, he went right into the season. Summer, fall, and all the way back around. It's a very intense lifestyle to be trying to recover and get healthy. I don't know why you would want to do that. Excuse me. I don't know why you would want to do that. I think it's a lot that I think it's a lot to put on, long term. So definitely every year is like it's more imperative that even more imperative that he win now. So he can go out strong. I think you line it up for somebody like a Marion to replace him in 2 to 3 years, if that. But Coach Prime ain't trying to go out losing. If he get a championship this year and the next year, yeah, he probably can feel comfortable hanging up. But he is a winner. He's not trying to hang it up losing. Now, for you to say they're gonna go 3-9, let's be for real. What are you saying? Who you saying they gonna beat? Because their schedule is not. I mean, people say the schedule. The schedule what? It's not a juggernaut. The conference is decent. It's not a juggernaut. People don't move around. Coaches don't move around. And if they stayed, You got to look at the games they play. As ragged as Colorado played, they were still in the game. They were still in the game. No quarterback, confusion with the quarterback situation. They were still in the game. Defense hot and cold, missing a lot of tackles, running the wrong hole. Somehow they were still in the game. So at some point you can say, correct here, correct there. How do they still do the same thing? I believe they got better linebackers, just from a skill set standpoint. Not film, but from a skill set, intellect standpoint. They say, oh, last year, I don't know, linebackers, they hyped them up, Hughes and all that. I don't know what happened with him. French, they hyped him up. I always thought French was small. But we know they had some gaping issues in the secondary. We knew that going in. They have double, triple that this year. They got competition in the secondary. Let's put it like that. It ain't, oh, I'm just glad we got another guy on the other side of DJ McKinnon. I don't know who's going to play, but they're going to compete at that cornerback, man. They got that safety room, they got a few good nickels. A few good, Boo Carter, Ashley, Fortnette. They got a few good nickels. They got the depth there. So it's not like last year where he's like, trying to make positive. Linebacker room, they got two very good freshmen on top of a very good transfer class. And they still had Goldberg and all of them coming back. So they had a couple people coming back. That offensive room is loaded. This is the best receiver core they have had. Yeah, you had Travis Hunter, you had Jimmy Johnson. This is a better overall receiver core, talent-wise. This is the best offense, period. Who can debate? System. We always complain about the system. Oh, they look plain. They look vanilla. Ain't never vanilla playing about the go-go. You can't make that plain in any way, shape, or fashion. So how do you say you're going to get the same results? That's the playing. That's like, what are you saying? What are you saying? He made the changes in the key areas. You complain about the running game. You definitely going to get a running game with the go-go. No doubt about it. Ain't we'll see. That what is made to do. You trying to figure out how much passing gonna have, but the running gonna have. I mean, he come from a place where 5 guys had over 70 carries. 5 different guys had over 70 carries. So that means 1, they run the ball, and 2, that mean they keeping the ball. That's what that means. Because how do you get a chance to have them in plays if you're going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out? That means they grinding it out, they keeping the ball. That means they running that clock down, which was another issue with Colorado, clock maintenance. The offense didn't stay on the field long enough. The defense stayed on the field too long. And the other teams that they would lose to would keep the ball, score. And that's how Colorado was losing. So they never had a very good, because of the running game, they never had a really good time of possession. And when they did, the games it turned out fairly well for them. So how do you say it's going to be the same? I know there's been a lot of negativity going on. I know there's a lot of negativity going on. You neutralize what Coach Marion do by pointing at what everybody else ain't doing. But I made a simple thing. You already said, somebody said Coach Marion owns the offense. Okay, guy, come on, use your senses, get the emotions together. Look at it like this. If everything was the same except the offense, how does you be the same? Something changed. You trying to point at, well, what about if these 5 things cause you to lose, and you took away this and you only got 4, how's that the same? How's me changing this means nothing? Use your head. How does me changing this mean nothing? Nothing. You said, well, it's still 4, but you had 5. So how is it exactly the same? This was a big part of it. What are you talking about? This was a big part of it. Your thumb is a big part. Try to grip something with 4 fingers. Your thumb is the wraparound. If your offense only scoring 14 points a game, not even 20 points a game, and you losing, That's a big part of why you lost, because you wasn't scoring. You keep talking about special teams and this, that. Special teams ain't scoring. That's a separate thing. Your issue is if you keep losing, it don't matter how great your special teams is. If your offense can't score more than 20 points, you put in your defense, they gotta be the best team ever to expect them to keep everybody to 20 points. And you already know your defense wasn't gonna do that. So if you change the offense, which was struggling, from an offense that couldn't score 20 points a game, couldn't run the ball, to an offense where the guy was hired because his team's averaged 35 points a game. He got multiple running backs getting 70 plus carries. He's putting out multiple 1,000-yard rushes a season, and you ain't ever had one. How is that not significant? What logic are y'all using? So I'm trying to say, how do you tell me nothing is going to change? They're going to have another 3. So that means that what you whining for, nothing's going to change. How do you get the whine and say, oh, they don't run the ball, and then they do run the ball and nothing's going to change? Then what you asking them to run the ball for? If you don't feel like running the ball is going to make a difference to the point where you get them the same record as when they didn't run the ball, as when they run the ball, let's say 60, 70% of the time, and they pass the ball 70% of the time, and you're going to say that means nothing. That's a big difference. That don't have no weight. It don't create nothing different. You still going to only win 3 games anyway. Because I hate Coach Prime y'all show up to be talking about somebody like that, but y'all be right in the middle of it. Like, I wouldn't even be here. If he gonna be that sorry, I ain't even gotta speak on. I just show up and watch him lose. Y'all so invested in this man losing that your thoughts defy logic. It's not logical. If they change the whole system to a system that has historically produced at this level, regardless of where it was, regardless of what level it was, you're telling me that change means nothing because the special teams is kicking the ball in the end zone. Like, they didn't lose the ball. They didn't lose last year because of no special teams. So why were you even talking about special teams? You're just trying to come up with something. Special teams did not lose. The year before, the first year they lost some games, some kickoff returns on special teams. They weren't kicking the ball in the end zone. That's what y'all want because you're afraid they can't go down there and tackle on the kickoff. All right, the man kicked the ball in the end zone 99% of the time. You wasn't getting kickoff returns on last year. You wasn't getting punt returns on you last year. That wasn't why they lost last year. Maybe the first year, like I said. So why is that even relevant? They were not losing the game because of punt returns and kickoff returns and block punts. That's not why they were losing the game. They were losing the games because they couldn't doggone score. Period. Period. You know, the clowns definitely fitting. It's definitely fitting because your logic is just it's dumb, man. That's a dumb logic. I mean, if you're gonna explain something other than just talking crazy, well, clearly you're crazy. That's what you're showing. We're talking all that. We talking logical here. We go take the bozo conversation somewhere else. Cause we talking logical. Logic is if this team is 3-9, this team is 3-9. How in the world, if they make a significant change from an offense that was throwing the ball sideways every play, not running the ball, couldn't convert on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 ever, couldn't score over 20 points, and they was 3-9. How do you just change one thing? Since we want to talk about all this other raggedy crap, one thing is this. Let's plan to my punt blocks. Do we see any punt blocks? What games did they lose over punt block, man? That's that dumb stuff. Come on, man. You try to treat you with some respect. Did punt blocks stop them from scoring touchdowns on offense? Did punt blocks stop them from scoring 14 points a game? Did punt blocks stop them from having leads and giving them back? Punt returns, whatever. Did any of that? That's dumb, man. Come on now. We smart over here now. Did punt blocks put them in that situation? When they lost to Georgia Tech, was it punt blocks? When they lost to BYU, was it punt blocks? All them games that they had in the bag, they was in the game, then it just took off at the end, and they lost by 3 touchdowns, like TCU, uh, you know, Utah. The game just took off. Was it due to punt blocks? Was it special teams that did that? Or do you expect the special teams to score touchdowns because the offense can't score touchdowns? Because even if the special teams put you in scoring position and you can't even run the ball 1 yard or 2 yards to get a short conversion ever, what good is your special teams? Oh, you want a field goal to death. Okay, you field goal team to death. You kick 3 field goals, they score 2 touchdowns, you still lose. That's the problem. That was Cleveland's problem. What Shedeur? They nickel and dime, they butt down the field and put all that weight on their defense. And their defense did all they could, and then they broke when Shedeur came. By the time they got to the end of the season, they was like broken up. But they kept this team, but because their offense couldn't score, they couldn't do that. But lose by 3 points, lose by this. And that's why they was desperate. All right, put Shedeur in somebody who can get the ball down the field, give us a chance to doggone score, man. We can't win off of field goals. We can kick 3, 4 field goals and still lose. You kick 4 field goals, you still got what, 12 points? That means you was in scoring position 4 times. Instead of having 28 points, you got 12. And then you lose 20 to 12. And your defense in here like, we kept the team down by 20. Y'all was in the red zone 4 times. And all y'all got was 12 points. And we busting our butt in sack records and all that. Nobody wants to be in that situation. Nobody wants to be in that situation. Yeah, you are stupid because that's exactly what I just said. 53-7, 52-17, 42-17. Yes, that you want to call it stupid. Yeah, that's exactly what you are, because that's exactly what I just explained. They couldn't score. That's what that showed. Outside of the fact that, and I guarantee you that didn't come from special teams. And how do you get 50-some points? Because you want to keep getting the ball. And why do you keep getting the ball? Because your offense can't be on the field at the same time their offense is on the field. If your offense kept the ball, then they would have less chance to score 50 points. That's dumb. That's the dumb logic in you. If the offense is on the field, do you have a chance to score 50 points? Where you come from, man? What is Madden talk? Like, what is it, looking at the stats on ESPN? It's no way you score 50 points if I have time of possession. But if I go 3 and out, you score, 3 and out, you score. That's the only way you can score 50 points. Is your ears plugged? Like, that's how you lose games. If the offense does not score, and if they're not scoring, that means they're not keeping the ball, because you just don't keep the ball and not score. Because it's only 100 yards a game. You just don't sit up there and hold the ball and just look at like you looking at the screen. But that's the sense we're talking about. But it actually proved my point. If you got an offensive change, how do you still lose the same amount of games? If your offense keeps the ball instead of 3 and out, they actually score points. How do you get the same results? How do you lose 53-7 if your offense has time of possession of more than 10 minutes a game? How do you lose 15-17 if you actually scoring more than 17 points? That means that it's less chance for them to score points, which means that instead of them scoring 50, they're coming close to what you're scoring, which means you have a chance to score more points because you actually have the ball. So yes, you said it right. It's always stupid. If you think that special teams got something to do with that, you're right. And you absolutely explained to me and everybody in this chat that allow me to end this show it's not smart, but that actually gives me an ending point of this show. And actually, that's why I like clowns, because they actually make you look smart, because you actually explained it to me. Thanks for pulling up the stats. I was too whatever to pull up the numbers, and your numbers just prove what I said. That was only 4 games out of the 9 that was lost. I appreciate you. That's why y'all ask me why I don't block a clown, because clowns are like the best assets we got. If you let them just be it, because they're gonna say something crazy enough to make your point better than you could have made it. Because that's their job. Why y'all never found out why I don't block people? A troll, you on my payroll, you on my show. You hate the team you show up for. Not really. You just don't know who you are, and really you're a fan. Because that's why you know these stats. They know the stats better than us, but they know it from like a be nice. Stats are the stats. Stats are the stats. Appreciate the stats you gave. You just proved to me and everybody else. 1, you're a clown. 2, you just proved our point. And we can go home. I ain't even got to sell that for $2. You sold it for me. Offensive wise, that adjustment is a big adjustment for Colorado. It's going to keep their defense off the field all day. So when they are stopping them and they finally break, and then that's when the game get taken away. When they going 17, all them games, you put them stats, all them games, they were going back to back to back, and then the defense just got to the late 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter, and then they just gave up and lost the game. That's because your offense left them out to hang. Your offense keep putting them in bad field position. It's because your offense is not giving them time to rest, because they go 3 and out. They got to go back out there. And the other team keeps them out there for 12 minutes, take the whole quarter, score, and then your offense go right back, give them a ball, and they don't score 2-3 touchdowns like that. And your defense been out there the whole time. And that's why your defense eventually is like, what are we doing? And then you get next thing you end up, your whole defense got muffs on their hand looking like Captain Hook, because they out there getting their body tore up because they out there too long. And they just pounding your defense, breaking your back. So that also it keep down the wear and tear on your defense. Because they don't, you go through so many, you end up the season, you got no defensive lineman left. You go on the end of your cornerbacks are all hurt. That's what happens. If your offense can keep your defense off the field, you will have a healthier defense. You will have a healthier defense in the long run, because the wear and tear is just going to be different. Put some wear and tear on these other teams. You got all them running backs, put them to use. You got all them receivers, put them to use. What he said, Coach Marion saying, I want to make a 5th quarter. I want to make a 5th quarter. If he do that, how do you lose? You got the ball longer than that. You're going to put wear and tear on their defense. You're going to score more points. So in your right mind, how do they ever go 3-9 that way? Everything about them going 3-9, you complain about them not running the ball. Okay, running the ball. They still going 3-9? Because we know if you're not running the ball, we know your time possession is jacked. Because you can't even get 3rd and 1. You can't even get 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. How many 4th down conversions they got the whole season? Barely any. I think his trainers he made in Marion alone, with the type of athletes he have had already and what he bought in, is more than enough to more than double the number of games that they won last year. Easy. There's no way possible with the changes he made that they really go below 6 or even 7 games. That would be a failure. Because if you waste the go-go, you got Young from Alabama, so you got your battering around. You got Big Henderson you got 2 big running backs. We never had 2 big running backs. Name it. We always had one big-ish running back. We about to get 1 big running back a year ago, and he went his butt to Ole Miss. You get 1 2 years ago, now 2 seasons ago. You get 2 big running backs. So now you can put them both on the field at the same time. You still got Welch, who a little bowling ball. You got Trackhawk. You got Campbell, who got 10 flat, 100 speed. So you got no excuse. Even with injuries, you got talent in the backfield. Even with injuries. And Amos was size, man. And we don't know what Amos was, because he was silly enough to go down there and go sit on the bench at Ole Miss. So we don't know what Amos was, but we know what he was before. He was a big body that can put some weight on some people. And we had a whole bunch of little running backs that year. All we had was Augustus, and he was just lean and tall. Amos was 230. What are we talking about? Amos was 230. Man, hand him the ball and then put some weight on somebody and get these 1 or 2 yards. Yeah, we all saw his tape. We all saw his tape. Amos was a bigger size running back, and we had a bunch of small running backs. And we need to change the pace, and we needed to get those short down. That's all that Kansas had with that big running back. He wasn't that fast. He ran all over Colorado. When a defense is tired, you think they want to tackle somebody 230? They ain't got to be great. You ain't got to be great in this go-go. You put somebody 230 and running back in this go-go and see what happens. Somebody's shoulder finna get separated. What are you talking about? It's about scheme. I think Salter would have been better in a different scheme. He's not it in this game, but he's clearly better in another scheme. Is he elite passer? Absolutely not. Is he elite in anything? I don't think he's elite. I think it's foolish to say he's elite. But is he better than what we saw? Absolutely. Amos went to Ole Miss and was like, what, 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. Because they brought in a couple other running backs from other D1 schools. And it's like, that's one place you don't go. Running backs are a dime a dozen in the SEC. Why would you do that? Everybody at the SEC 4 or 5-star running back. That's all they gonna get at running back and receiver. If you can go do some on the defensive line, you can go defensive line. Sure, maybe even quarterback. But them skill positions like receiver, running back, maybe even DB, you can go out there and take somebody's spot. Running back, everybody on their roster was a stud. You ain't finna get no looks over them. LSU, Alabama. Why you think we got Rich Young? He like a tank. He played a little bit. Everybody in the SEC like him, especially Alabama. You see who come out of Derrick Henry, Ingram. All the boys come out of Alabama. That's a whole different pedigree. Hey, Amos ended up at Georgia State. Darn, they must have went that last year. I told you, you know the running joke around here is you go to Georgia State, you know, that's the end. That's about like Cleveland, somebody. My running joke is you're going to end up at Georgia State. Man, he ended up at Georgia State. I think I remember that. Anywho, I think I built my case. I'm going to end it on you. This is it for Coach Prime. I think he's in a good position. I would have hated his Marion income. It would almost been like impossible for him to recover. I think he's in position to recover. It's just that what will be enough? I don't think 6-7 wins will be enough. I think he got to at least do what he did. Just to break even. Because they're going to find, well, you don't did that before. He got to go 10 plus. And is he able to do that? Yeah. But they gotta really figure this junk out right now. No confusion on who gonna be who gonna be what at quarterback. I know Marion ain't finna have that crap, but he ain't finna let you mess over his good look, his good name. So I know it ain't gonna be no confusion. Go ahead and have some people backing up and backup quarterbacks be ready. All of them. No excuse. Somebody go down, next man come in, need to be just as effective. Because you got too much talent on the offensive side to be totally limited, especially with the go-go on just the quarterback. It should not be limited. The quarterback should be able to take it to another level, but it should not be like, oh, the quarterback go out our season over, like when Shador and all them. It's like the season over because it was totally built on his ability to throw the ball, and then he brings Staub in and he throwing an interception. That's what they did this past year to Salter. Oh, shucks, you can't throw the ball. It's a wrap. We ain't got no running game. Our scheme sucks. We're throwing the ball sideways. We ain't confusing nobody. So unless you just want to go out here and just be a gunslinger, you're done. The go-go is not built on being a gunslinger. The go-go is built on, you better watch all 11 of these guys. And then because of that, it makes some people pop out because you can't just key in on Juju like they did. We're just going to key in on Shador. As long as he can't throw the ball, they're going to lose. They can't just key in on Juju and just line everybody up on the line and overwhelm the offensive line. You can't do that in the go-go. Line everybody else in the box if you want to on the go-go. They put somebody in motion and that's a wrap. You put somebody in motion and that's a wrap. There was no motion barely. You got to have motion. You got to expose people's scheme. You got to put them in uncomfortable situations. You ain't doing none of that mess in what we had. So it ain't no comparison. I'm gonna say that. Pat Shermer did not have one good year. Nothing he did put any pressure on anybody else but his own team. They put pressure on Shador. They put pressure on Salter. They put it on Juju. They put on all of them. It was not built for them. Stop. So I expect something different. Not wishful thinking. I gave y'all my logic. Hope y'all comprehend those who are able. With that, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. Greg said it. Greg said it live. Y'all have a good one.